another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah, and every week for the past 3 years, we've been sitting on my bed and having a conversation about something we want to talk about. And this week, we're going to continue our conversation from last week about the war in Israel. And over this week, I continuously see pro-Hamas protests all around the city, and definitely the NYPD has raised security, and police officers are just everywhere now. And like when I walk to school, even they're outside buildings and everything, and it's just really sad to see them there. That now that something's happening somewhere else that should never be happening anyway or anywhere, now that we're all basically in danger, and that they have to all focus on just this and not really all these other things that are happening, and it has to just all be focused on this.
Yeah, certainly things have changed around here in New York City.
Yeah.
You just see barricades up all over the place in different places, even after rallies
like at the bus
happen.
stop from like a week ago, even.
Yeah, but even just on Friday night, we were on the bus going up 3rd Avenue, and then all of a sudden the bus just stopped, wasn't going anywhere, so we asked, okay, can we just get out? And we didn't know what was going on.
They've been blocking off areas.
Right, and so then there was a pro-Hamas rally, and we'll call it we're not going to call it a Free Palestine rally, it's a pro-Hamas rally,
yes.
And it was in the middle of the street.
Yes, so
nothing was going through. So we just we didn't even know it.
You couldn't even turn this way either.
So we just walked right up to it and then walked around, and then getting around it. And then on our way home, we saw those police buses, and they had ended up arresting. They said 130 people.
Yeah, we saw that in the news the next day.
Yeah,
and it's sad. It's honestly these protests. I'm going to call them a protest.
Rally. Protest, yeah.
I don't think they want to make it violent at all, or anything. I think that these protests are okay. People aren't going to always support them, but they're okay if they stay safe.
Yeah, I mean, but I still see it as I understand what you're saying. I still see it as a hate rally.
It is.
Yeah.
But, you can't prevent people from doing it if it...
Right, if they're not being violent.
Right.
Yes, I know what you mean. When we were walking to dinner on Friday, and I saw the rally, and then I was like, well, what would happen? And I wouldn't have done this with me at all. I would never put you in harm's way. I was thinking, what if we just walked right through? What would have happened? I don't know what would happen. I mean, I'm still having such a difficult time wrapping my head around the idea that these people think that the Hamas has their best interests in mind, and that they can't be free because of Israel, not this terrorist organization.
No, it's like they think that Hamas has their back, but Hamas, like the Palestinians, but Hamas is using them as human shields so they don't get killed, but they can kill the Palestinians. I don't know where this idea is coming from.
Yeah, and then so
I don't think a terrorist group is gonna try to protect them.
Yeah, it's not a terrorist group's not protecting anybody. They simply don't even care about their own lives. I mean, they're just going in. They're ready to die as well.
Right.
They don't care. They don't care who dies.
And they don't care about anybody else.
Mm-mm.
They don't even really. I don't think care about themselves even that much.
No, they don't. So you went to Hebrew school on Monday, and yeah, right. So you went to Hebrew school on Monday. Was there any talk about it at Hebrew school, or was it just, all right, we're here to learn, where you can, of course, we've had other events where we've talked, where the rabbi and his wife, we all talked about it, that we talked about last week. But at Hebrew school, did it feel any different on Monday?
No.
Oh, good.
It seemed like of course I was thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more of a normal Hebrew school.
Okay. And anyone?
No one mentioned anything.
And anyone has anyone at school said anything to you? No. Okay. And I know at school, just in general in the past, with other current events topics, you've always been interested in the current events in the news, but you never bring it up with anybody else.
No.
Why is that? Any current event topic, not just this one.
I don't know how to describe this. I feel like I'm just not that person that's just not gonna do that.
I don't understand.
Like I'm not like.
So if you're having a conversation with your friends, when I was a kid, I would say, "Hey, did you see this?" Or "Did you hear about this?" And then that's how the conversation is, either yes or no, and then you go from there.
I feel like also at school there aren't certain people that I would talk about this to. Also.
Okay.
And also, I feel like I watch the news. I don't know what happens. Like I don't know how to say this, but like.
You watch the news, you see what happens. You don't have to have all the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have all the answers. But we talk about it, but are you interested in talking about it with other kids?
No.
Oh, okay. You're
Not
not
really.
Is it
It's like
is
you
it
don't
those
even
kids
know
or just any kids?
I'm better at talking about something if someone else brings it up.
Because
I don't know also if they know about it. Like who knows if they watch the news.
Right. So I'm saying I think that with friends of yours, maybe even the girls you went to camp with, okay?
Probably more with the girls I go to camp.
I do think it's important for you to find, that person or two that you can say, "Hey, have you seen this?" And not worry about if they say, "No, what are you talking about?" Because they're not gonna say that to embarrass you, to make you feel bad, but for you to be able to talk about it just with another person of your own age, to say, "Hey, did you hear about this, or did you see?" And if they say, "No, tell me about it," then you can talk about it. Now you've opened up someone else's eyes about something else.
Yeah.
Or because if they say to you sometimes like, "Hey, did you see this movie?" And you say, "No."
No.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to feel embarrassed.
I'm not.
Or anything less than just confident to say, "Hey, have you heard about this, or did you see this?"
Yeah.
Where you think it's appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's best. So you see a lot more police. You see a lot more police on the street. Something we talked about last week that I want you to keep in mind is, and I'd had a lot of friends reach out, and I really do appreciate all the nice notes. They made such a difference. Just hearing from friends to say that we're supporting you, we love you, we have your back, and then also the compliments about our conversation that say like this is helping me talk to my children about not just this, but anything difficult.
Yeah,
and
that was really nice to hear.
Yeah, and being able to open up to have those conversations, it means more than any of you could imagine. But they are difficult conversations, and I remember having some conversations with some of my friends who are Black, who were having during the Black Lives Matter movement, and even before that, about conversations with their kids who are a little bit older about what to do when a policeman comes up to your car. Like, not anything that I would ever have to have that conversation that serious with you, thinking, "Hey, you put your hands on the wheel, you say, you don't move until they say, you can go get your license and registration, you look someone in the eye, you're very respectful." It's just, even if you didn't do anything wrong, because that conversation, without it, could result in that black child being killed. And that's awful and unthinkable for me. So as we have these conversations about being Jewish and having something we discussed last week was the awareness of you've got to keep your ears open. You have to keep your eyes open to see what is going on around you. And it's not a paranoia thing, like thinking like, oh, is that person after me? It's just being aware.
Yeah.
And I
just
think
like being aware of your surroundings.
Exactly. Just like when you
just like looking around.
When you walk off the bus. You walked off the bus a bunch of times today. First thing you did, as you stepped off the bus, you looked to the right, then looked to the left, just to see if there were bikers coming. Awareness. This is a different kind of awareness where if you hear certain things that you can then let a person of authority know, whether it's a teacher, a principal, us, somebody else, because you just have to be aware of these things, and it's a shame that we have to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. And anti-Semitism in the United States and around the world has been on the rise for the past number of years, but now it's even more heightened because of what has happened, and it's given what the Hamas attack in Israel has given other anti-Semites the power to think, oh, yeah, that's how I feel. I'm gonna do something too.
Yeah, and which is so sad that this is what people think, and this is how, if they have, it's kind of like how you have to, if you want something, you have to, like, basically use your words to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But that these people think that now they have to use violence to get their word out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there are so many other ways that you can do this. Like, this shouldn't even happen anyway. But there are so many other ways that you could do this, but this is the way that they think is best.
Right. But in the end here, the terrorists and Iran in general will not stop. Like, words don't matter to them, only these actions.
Yes.
That's it. And everybody else is taking their cue from them.
It's kind of like, oh, if they do this, now they're like controlled by them, kind of.
They are.
They do this, then I can do this.
Yeah.
If they think this, then I think this.
And I'm very confused by anyone who won't speak out against anti-Semitism.
Yeah, like
I don't understand. Like, what is anyone afraid of to say? What happened in Israel with the Hamas, torturing, slaughtering, murdering, every single word for it, in the most disgusting way imaginable. Just say that is not okay, and I'm against that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, but how do people think that is acceptable? It's not.
It's not.
Like, I don't know how this processes through their mind as, yes, that is great.
Me neither. Every single day, I think, when I see someone saying, well, yeah, but, well, no.
Like, I guess
look at what happened.
I guess if they think then this is okay, then it's okay that this happens to them then?
It's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, interesting way of putting it. All right, so stay alert, stay aware, and we're gonna talk about anything and everything. And if you have other questions, because I don't know everything.
Yeah,
you don't
I
know
don't
everything.
know everything.
So ask questions, and also allow yourself to let your feelings out, your emotions out, or let us know when you're actually thinking about this. Okay.
Yeah.